Can you imagine? Happy Mercoledi Moment. As we prepare in the next few days for Halloween, can you believe it? The 31st of October, when October goes, is going to be among us on Saturday. And then the next day is November 1st, Sunday, and it's the Feast of All the Saints. So I thought I would dedicate this Mercoledi Moment to getting our hearts ready for All Hallows Eve and All Saints Day. As you know, Halloween was always a special day for many of us as growing up as a kid. This year we have COVID restrictions on us, but it's usually a wonderful festival day. In fact, right here in this neighborhood of Little Italy, I go down Bishop Street for my morning walk, and the whole place is decked out with Halloween decorations. They got lights and goblins, and they have this 15-foot ghost, this blow-up ghost that they must have got at Home Depot or someplace. But everything is spiffed up because Halloween is right around the corner. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Well, what is Halloween? Halloween is an ancient church festival that probably was a baptized Celtic festival at the end of October. But we then baptized it to All Hallows Eve and All Hallows Day, because hallow means the holy ones, the ones who are hallowed, not hollow, because saints are not hollow, they're hallowed. So All Hallowed Eve are the ones who were all holy ones. And so I remember as a kid, we had to dress up like little saints. We couldn't dress up like ghosts or whatever, superhero figures. That came later, but when I was a kid, we all would dress up as saints, and then we had processions around, and I would always go as, I don't know, St. Michael the Archangel or something. My mother made big wings for me. Can you picture that? And because All Hallows Eve was a day where we actually prayed that we would be ready to celebrate All Hallows Day. And then following All Hallows Day, on November 2nd, we celebrate All Saints Day on November 1st, but then All Souls Day on November the 2nd. So it's a time where at least in the Northern Hemisphere, we're coming to the end of daylight. In fact, we will turn back our clocks this coming Sunday, so don't forget. And the days will get darker until the winter solstice on December the 21st. And as we go down into the darkness, we remember all the saints. Here at the Shrine of Our Lady of Pompeii, we are just loaded with saints. In fact, whenever I walk in here, it seems like it's always All Saints Day. It seems like it's always All Hallows Eve, because these wonderful saints that the Italians brought, and in the windows and the statues, it's just an amazing entourage of saints. And so getting ready for All Hallows Eve as a kid was always getting ready for All Hallows Day, All Saints Day. But then it turned into this kind of like goblins and spooks and ghosts, which was always wonderful and wonderful fun. And then I met some Mexican friends when I was a kid, little kids from Mexico, and they were not celebrating Halloween in their native cultural tradition. They were celebrating the Días de los Muertos. They were celebrating the Day of the Dead, which is November the 2nd, All Souls Day. And I remember that they would go to the cemeteries. In fact, the Mexican community here in the United States, and certainly in Mexico, keep that day very, very, very sacred, because it's the day where you remember not only the saints who have been canonized, the saints who are in heaven, but also the dear souls in purgatory who are awaiting our prayers and our love and our support so that they can become saints. And this was a wonderful, wonderful kind of like news to me, that people would go to the cemeteries on November 2nd and light candles and have little altars in their houses for the dead with pictures of their relatives and friends, which I think is just a wonderful kind of a custom. And so might we not, during this COVID year, might we not create a little altar where we put holy cards of saints, but also pictures of our dead, and light a candle on November 1st and November 2nd, or maybe the night of Halloween, where the goblins and the spooks come out, And I oftentimes think of, also associated with All Hallows Eve, was the making of jack-o'-lanterns. Do you remember that? I remember doing this, and I think that maybe the making of jack-o'-lanterns helps us understand completely what these holidays are all about, these holy nights, Halloween and All Saints' Day, All Souls' Day is all about. Because I remember when I was a kid, we had to pick the best pumpkin out. We would go to the supermarket, or my father would actually grow them sometimes in the backyard. We had pumpkins, and then my mother would choose one she wanted for pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving and Christmas time. But we would choose a great pumpkin, like Charlie Brown's great pumpkin, and then we would get a knife, and we would have to cut open the top. And then after we took the top off, we would have some fun. My brothers and I, we would dig into the pumpkin, and we'd pull out all the gook, all the gook. And we'd have to save the seeds, because there were seeds in there that my mother would bake, and we would eat those Halloween pumpkin seeds. But we'd take all that stuff out, and then when it was hollowed out, we cut eyes and noses and mouths. And sometimes we'd each have our own pumpkin, and sometimes you just have one family pumpkin. And so I got to do the eyes, my brother Jack got to do the nose, or my brother Mark did the mouth, and we would have some fun kind of creating this strange looking pumpkin. And then on All Hallows Eve, we would put the candle inside it, because we used candle inside it, and then we put it on the doorpost, or put it on the stoop in the front to illuminate the eve of All Saints' Day, All Holy Saints' Day. Well, I think about this, and I've talked about this before, maybe you recall, but I just hit it to me as I'm preparing this talk, that maybe that's the clue to why we celebrate this festival of All Saints and All Souls. Because in a sense, God chooses us like a fine pumpkin. Jesus says, "It is not you who have chosen me, but I've chosen you." And so we celebrate that Christ has chosen us. Fratelli tutti, fratelli e sorelle tutti, brothers and sisters all, like our Holy Father mentioned. We're chosen like a fine pumpkin. And then through the years, we are opened up by the Holy Spirit, by the grace of God. And then through the years of our lives, God reaches into our souls, into our hearts, and removes all that gook, all of that gook, and empties us out, hollows us out so that we might be hallowed. And then gives us new eyes and a new nose and new mouths and new ears so that we might see Christ, as we say at baptism, that Christ will illuminate all our senses like that pumpkin that's given eyes and noses and ears and a mouth. And then once we are all hallowed out and hollowed out with new senses, by God's grace, Christ fills us with light, enlightens us. Like we put a candle inside the pumpkin. Christ enlightens us. And then Christ puts us out into the world, into the darkness where the ghosts and the goblins and the demons swirl around, of such hatred and racial divisions. And we are placed out there like a jack-o'-lantern. We are placed out there like an enlightened saint. We are placed out there so that in the midst of the darkness, the light of Christ can shine through our eyes and our ears and our noses and our mouths. Christ can shine out in the darkness. And like little jack-o'-lanterns, we can become saints. Holy souls to the glory of God, so that all the world eventually may come to know the brightness of the Lord, the brightness of God's love and joy even in the darkest of times. So, happy All Hallows Eve. Happy Halloween and happy All Hallows Day, that we are the holy saints. And may the souls of those who have gone before us on All Souls Day, may we remember them, and may they encourage us to be happy jack-o'-lanterns, wonderful saints, people of God, the image and likeness of Jesus Christ. Happy Halloween.